You ready?
I'm ready.
Are you? I'm so tired.
It's almost like we got less sleep last night.
We did. But also, we've been on a little bit of a roller coaster this past month.
It has been a month.
Did you move?
I moved. Did you move?
I moved.
Oh my goodness. You know who else moved? Our parents moved.
Basically, since we released our last episode, we first went on vacation and then also decided to move immediately after vacation. So everything I brought and packed on vacation is lost amongst the boxes of moving.
It's funny. For me, the only clothes I have are the clothes that I brought to vacation, and everything else is in a box in an unknown abyss.
And essentially part of the move was that Alicia and I moved in together along with my parents, which might sound like a dream or a nightmare, depending on your family.
Separate kitchens.
Separate units. Alicia's on the lower level. My parents are above her. Our parents are above her. I mean, I claim ownership because they've been my parents for longer since I'm older. And then we're the unit above that. And we decided it would be more efficient to all move at the same time, but it also means that no one can find a pan or socks.
The huge downside that I did not realize till we all moved simultaneously is that you can't call your sister and ask for help packing because they are also calling you to ask for your help packing.
And meanwhile, my toddler is being super helpful with all the boxes while your puppy is eating all the boxes.
Oh, definitely eating all the cardboard boxes. There are puppy dog bites in every box in my apartment.
But we have unpacked enough that we found the microphones, so we are back.
That was the big delay.
It really was. I had no idea where they were. I thought I did, and they were somewhere totally unexpected. So welcome back to the Rolling Forward podcast.
Rolling forward, Dr. Sister Science Facts.
I'm Dr. Alicia Rolin.
I'm Dr. Stephanie Rolin.
I'm a pediatrician.
I'm a psychiatrist.
We are part-time clinicians, part-time researchers.
And we are both tired, not just from vacation, not just from the move, but especially because today is
daylight savings time.
Because we've decided as a country to change all of the clocks twice a year and expect everyone to just be fine.
I mean, it's the annual tradition where parents realize that their children do not recognize government-mandated time changes.
My toddler didn't get the memo. If yours did, let me know where to sign my child up. So we decided, let's do today's episode about why we're so tired, aka daylight savings. So what we're going to start with is, why does daylight savings even exist? Whose idea was this and why? And then what does the science say about it? And most importantly, what does it do to us?
Rolling forward, Dr. Sister Science Facts.
All right, so let's start with the basics. Alicia, what is daylight savings time?
Daylight savings time is when we move clocks forward 1 hour in the spring and back 1 hour in the fall. So it's when you hate yourself in the spring and you get really excited in the fall unless you're working and you have to work an extra hour overnight, which happened to me previously.
And the idea around daylight savings is that we're shifting daylight towards the evening hours where people are more awake and active. So instead of having your daylight, an extra hour of daylight in the morning when people are sleeping, you'll have it in the evening. It does sound reasonable to have more daylight in evening hours so we can enjoy it, but basically we're giving the entire population mild jet lag twice a year. And you didn't even go on a trip.
So daylight savings dates all the way back to Benjamin Franklin.
No.
In the late 1700s, he joked that people in Paris should wake earlier to save their candles. Yeah, the first serious proposal was in the late 1800s. And then it was widely adopted during World War I, and it was introduced as a way to save coal and energy.
Because governments thought that if you shift daylight hours, that's going to reduce electricity use. And that logic is simple. If you have more daylight in the evening, then you use less artificial lighting.
The United States adopted it in 1918 during World War I, and it became standardized with the 1966 Uniform Time Act.
But not everyone participates.
Not everyone in the U.S. and not everyone in the world. About 1/3 of the world's countries today use daylight savings time, which means about 2/3 don't.
Oh, 2/3 don't?
Mm-hmm.
And in the United States, we have 2 lucky states who do not observe daylight saving time. So if you're a listener from Arizona or Hawaii who don't know what we're talking about,
Congratulations on getting a full night's sleep.
you may be the most well-rested state in America right now. So let's talk about the biology of time, also known as the part that I love, circadian rhythms.
For those of you who aren't psychiatrists, that's the body's internal clock.
Every person has a roughly 24-hour biological rhythm that is controlled by a tiny part of their brain. I like to call it the master clock. Other scientists call it the suprachiasmatic nucleus.
This is located in the hypothalamus and acts like the body's master clock. It regulates things like sleep, hormone release, metabolism, body temperature, and your level of alertness.
And the biggest signal that controls this suprachiasmatic nucleus, this master clock, is light.
Morning light is particularly important because it tells the brain, hello, it's daytime. Stop producing melatonin.
Melatonin being the hormone that makes you sleepy.
So when you suddenly shift your clock forward an hour in the spring, your body doesn't magically adapt overnight.
My brain basically is like, excuse me, it is still yesterday.
The biggest immediate effect of this spring forward, the spring transition, is sleep loss.
Multiple studies, including one conducted in my own house last night, shows that people lose about 40 to 60 minutes of sleep on average after the spring clock change.
I mean, only 40 minutes? Please. Please. It doesn't sound like a lot till you realize that Americans are already chronically sleep deprived.
And for kids, it can be even worse because children have very structured circadian rhythm, and younger children especially struggle when sleep schedules shift.
And so as a parent, you can often see earlier wake-ups, bedtime resistance, crankiness, disrupted naps. Have I listed everything that's happened today?
Yes, it suspiciously sounds like a preview of our next week, also known as the first week after daylight savings time. It's an annual tradition.
And here's where things get really interesting. Researchers have studied the health impacts of daylight saving times for years.
And some of the findings are awesome.
Several studies show a temporary increase in heart attack in the days following the spring transition, particularly the Monday and Tuesday after daylight savings times.
I remember reading a study in the New England Journal of Medicine stating that there was a 5% increase in heart attacks during this first week.
The theory is that the sleep deprivation plus the circadian disruption stresses your cardiovascular system.
And it's not just the heart. There's also evidence that fatal car crashes increase in the days after the spring transition.
A 2020 study estimates about 6% more fatal car accidents in the week after the spring change.
And researchers think that it's a combination of sleep deprivation and circadian disruption, along with the darker mornings during your commuting hours, may contribute to that increase. And in addition to that, from a psychiatry perspective, we know that sleep disruption affects mood. Poor sleep is associated with depression, anxiety, irritability, and reduced focus.
Which might explain why the Monday after daylight saving times feels terrible.
So if you're feeling that way right now, you're not alone.
So bringing this back to parenting, kids tend to be more sensitive to sleep disruption than adults.
Because their brains, including their circadian systems, are still developing.
So when the sleep schedule shifts, you suddenly see bedtime battles,
Oof,
early waking,
do not like that one.
not fun behaviors,
Opt out.
and trouble focusing.
No, thank you.
Teachers often report attention problems the week after this spring transition.
And we've been talking about some of the challenges that younger kids might have, but let's be real that teenagers are already running on a delayed circadian rhythm, meaning they naturally fall asleep later. So forcing them to wake up even earlier relative to their body clock, it's less than ideal.
Which explains why the morning after the time change can feel like running a sleep deprivation experiment in your household.
Good luck. So why do we do this? To be fair, there are some arguments in favor of daylight savings time,
It's like once you transition, that first week is terrible, but then you get a lot of benefits.
such as more daylight in the evening can increase outdoor activity. I remember those longer evenings with more sun growing up. We were always out in the yard playing.
Some studies even suggest more evening daylight might reduce certain types of crime.
And retail and recreation industries also benefit because more people are likely to shop or exercise when it's light outside. We were literally at a store yesterday getting furniture for our new home, and you were like, it's dark. We should leave.
It's time to go to bed.
I mean, it was 5 o'clock at night. Was it 5 o'clock at night?
It was dark out. It's bedtime.
And we're inside. There's no windows because we're inside a store, which is lit. And you were like, it is dark. We should go. So I understand how there might be more people likely to shop if it's light outside, even if the time is exactly the same.
It's dark outside. I want to be in a bathtub or in a bed, on a couch, watching TV.
So this one just hits home. I just remember you saying that. I was like, what a weird thing to say. But I guess I was the weird one. So let's remember the real reason we started this daylight savings thing. Energy saving, right?
Turns out that evidence is pretty weak.
No.
Modern research suggests that energy savings are teeny tiny or sometimes actually non-existent.
So that's unfortunate, which leads us to a pretty interesting part, which is that many sleep scientists actually recommend eliminating this clock change entirely.
Organizations like the American Academy of Sleep Medicine support moving to what's called permanent standard time.
And hey, it's the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. They sound like experts.
So why standard time instead of permanent daylight savings time?
Because the morning sunlight is critical for synchronizing circadian rhythms. And that with this shift, we're prioritizing the evening daylight instead of the morning daylight.
And so if we stayed on the daylight savings time year round, so if we didn't change back this fall, winter sunrises in some places would occur extremely late.
And that could mean that kids are going to school in complete darkness for much of the winter, and they're not getting that morning sunshine boost.
So bad news, even if we eliminate daylight savings time, we still got to swap at least one more time.
Ugh, okay, so we're here now. We cannot change global society quite yet. So what can parents do to make the transition easier?
There are a few strategies that can actually help. One is shifting bedtime gradually.
Well, I forgot to do that this year, but I guess theoretically next time, if you move the bedtime 10 to 15 minutes each night for several nights before the change, it seems like that would be helpful. That would have been helpful.
Yes, correct. Correct. I feel like it's a surprise, though. Like the date is a surprise every year. It's not like
pops up.
it just pops up and then it happens. 2, you can prioritize morning light. Morning sunlight really helps reset the circadian rhythm faster.
For me, I just sit in front of a light box.
And now on the back patio.
And then 3, keep your routines consistent. Meals, naps, bedtime routines, it should stay predictable, and none of this should be a surprise. You don't want to surprise a child in general, but certainly don't surprise them now with what bedtime is.
And then most frustratingly, most importantly, be patient.
Ugh, I hate patience.
It can take 3 to 7 days for a circadian rhythm to fully adjust, to even just an hour change.
So if my child is cranky for a few days this week,
just blame Congress.
Okay, that's the takeaway. So while daylight savings time started as this energy saving item during wartime, modern research shows its energy saving effects are minimal at best, and that there are real biological effects in our bodies.
Those effects include sleep disruption, potential health risks, and most importantly for our listeners, very grumpy children.
And maybe grumpy parents. I don't know. It's okay.
Definitely grumpy parents, as I'm staring at parents right now. And that's our show for today.
Rolling forward, Dr. Sister Science Facts.
So if you enjoyed this episode of Rolling Forward and you are commiserating over how tired you feel this week or how difficult things seem, go ahead, share with another sleep-deprived parent. Give us a 5-star review.
You can always send us an email at rollinforwardshow. That's ROLIN forwardshow@gmail.com.
And we will be back next week. I think we know where the microphones are. We're getting back into our routines. So we will see you next time when we keep moving through the science of parenting.
Hopefully better rested.
I plan to be better rested.
Rolling forward, Dr. Sister Science Facts.
The circadian disruption plus the circadian disruption.
And circadian researchers think that it's a combination of sleep deprivation and circadian disruption.
See, it's a hard word.
It's super hard. It's because we're tired.